a pretty typewriter. And wouldn't you know, it looks even better in person. This is a Mercedes Model 4. Now, to avoid any confusion, let me clear out one thing. The Mercedes typewriter company and the car company don't have a relation other than that they had a legal dispute over using the name Mercedes. But they settled that in 1913. The typewriter company promised never to use the name for anything related to transportation, and the car company to never use it for typewriters. I'll put a link in the description if you wish to read up further on this. Now let's take a closer look on this machine. Here in the front we have your color selector. Now it only shows black and red, but now it's on black. Red is just putting it a bit down. And if I push it all the way forward, it goes further up, like so. And then we have stencil mode. So now I'm going to put it back to black, like so. There are two shift buttons, one on each side, and each of them has shift lock. The RT key is your backspace. Sounds a bit like a pump or trying to pump something up if you ask me. And this is your tabulator key. Now over here we have your left margin setting and your right margin setting. The margin release on these is this little lever over here. Now on the left one it makes sense because I can't go further. So if I move this up, then I can slide past that little thing in the middle. But for the right one, if I go a bit closer, you'll see this activates the bell, but it doesn't stop at all. So actually I don't really need the release on that one. It's also a bit of a pain in the ass because now I need to take care that I hear the bell and pay attention to it and whatnot, because otherwise I know I'm gonna type beyond my margins. Now you may say, wait a minute, this looks like an Underwood. And you're right, it does look like an Underwood, but this machine has a lot of improvements. For example, this margin bar over here is on the carriage itself instead of on the frame. So now we have numbers going from left to right instead of from right to left like on the Underwood. I think this is an improvement. I don't like that on the Underwood. Bell trigger is just possible like on the Underwood without actually triggering it with the margin. You can just have fun with it, annoy your kids, annoy your wife with it. And another major improvement is that this entire type bar core and keyboard can be just pulled out from the front. Now, what you need to do for that is remove these three keys, like so. Very easy. Put on both your shift locks and then unscrew these screws at the bottom here on the sides, on both sides, and then you can slide the entire thing just out, which makes it very easy for maintenance. Now let me put these back and that I don't lose them. There we go. And I'll take you on a further tour of this machine. So welcome to the left side. It does have a few dings and scratches like this one over here. Can't do that much about it, unfortunately. Here's the other little screw that you see on the side to take out the core. Some fresh 3D printed feet. And what else? Carriage return. Over here we have your ratchet release, your line selector knob. This bit over here is for your setting your shift height. Over here we have your platen knob. This button normally activates your line finder mechanism, but that's busted on this machine, unfortunately. It's really a shame because if that would be working, then everything on this machine would be working. but it is what it is. I just can't fix it because the entire mechanism that is broken is inside the platen, so I need an entire fresh platen. Another nice thing to know about this machine is over here. If you take out this little screw over here on this side, and then if I can get a good view over here, you have this little lever, and you push this little lever up, you remove this little screw, and then you can just take the entire carriage out. The drawband will fix itself by itself on an anchor point on the frame, which is great. So here we are at the back. As you can see, I didn't make a spelling mistake. It is a Model 4 with 2 L's. Germans have a thing for putting the same letter twice behind each other. This is the manual ribbon winding mechanism and also your ribbon reverse switch. It does it automatically by itself as well. It's a tension-based system. This is your tab brake, and that was the fixed dog that was broken, but was machined from scratch by a knife smith, Arvid Crafts. I put a link to his website in my description. And yeah, if you saw the previous video about the tab brake and the broken fixed dog, you saw how well he can make things like that. It's just awesome that he can do that. It's awesome that I know that guy. And of course, over here you have your paper support that flips up back to one of those sides. And these are your tab settings. If you put them like this, the tab is deactivated. And yeah, in this like this, they're stuck in this position. With a little bit of effort, you can also move them. And over here on this bar that you can't see right now, just a second, you can see where you have set your tabs. And this of course is your paper guide. Moving on to the left side. Well, on the left side you have some different levers than on the right side. This here is your paper release, left platen up, and then the only thing that's also different is your carriage release. So that's about it for the left side. Not too much special things on there. Oh, and of course here is your shift setting on the right side of the carriage. Just one more space to go, and that's the top. So on top you have your paper bale and your eraser table over here. You have these big spools. Those are proprietary, so don't buy one of these without those spools. And also you're gonna need a 16mm ribbon, which is a bit of a pain in the ass to find, but I managed to find one. Another thing you will notice is that the card holders over here are integrated into the metal little shim over there, so those are up all the time. And another fascinating thing, well, fascinating for me, is the design of this tie bar guide. As you can see, it's not a vertical slot in the middle, but it's a slanted slot on each side. So for one half of the tie bars, they hit it like that, and the other half of the keyboard hits it like here, like so. That's a bit of an odd design, if you ask me. But the coolest thing about this typewriter is its typeface. And that's the thing that attracted me most to it. This is a typewriter with steile Zierschrift. I thought this was a one-off, because, I mean, this is not a typeface you would use in your business correspondence. This would be something for your personal correspondence. But then again, who would pay to get a standard with that typeface? Then you need to be quite rich, because a standard is quite expensive. And I thought this thing would be a one-off, but I was wrong, because another one surfaced and has been bought by another collector, or so I've been told. It even has the same decals as this machine, these dealer tags over here. So maybe they did use it as a business machine. Maybe it was some sort of commercial thing. I don't know. Oh, something else you might see or might not see, the resolution is not that great, is that most of these typefaces have a 5 in the middle, and some of them have a 75, like this one over here. Now the 5 doesn't ring a bell, but the 75 you can find in the Raro catalog, and there it says this is style Zierschrift. Very cool typeface. But I think I've talked enough now, and it's time for some typing. You can say what you want, but when Vogue is the absolute pinnacle of Art Deco typeface, this thing has the ultimate pinnacle of Art Nouveau typeface. It is very beautiful, if you ask me. Crap. Bye bye.